All right, ladies and gentlemen, good Monday morning. Man, we have really nothing to talk about today. No, I'm kidding. That was a Ron Burgundy moment. Thursday, Wednesday through Friday was just absolute insanity. I don't think I've seen anything like that in my over 3 decades of doing this. Just absolute craziness. Good stuff, though, man. I love it. How should you be if Amazon implodes? Okay. How should you be if the market takes off? Okay. If you are unbalanced, man, you're miserable. You should just be able to smile through everything. Quick reminder I dropped episode 128. We can talk more about this on Wednesday if you want, but hopefully everybody listened to that or watched it. You can watch it obviously here on the No Fallen Heroes YouTube channel. Sacred Warrior Fellowship is airborne. We are a 508 C1A. We are a religious fellowship here in the great state of Florida. Nobody in this country can stand between you and practicing your faith as you see fit. And we are an entheogenic fellowship. So if you're a civilian, well, if you're anybody and you'd like to join us in the great state of Florida, sit in ceremony, reconnect with Source, Divine, Truth, Creator, let us know. We support everybody. And make sure you subscribe to the No Fallen Heroes channel. We need to get over 1,000 subscribers. We got 980, so everybody should go right now and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Got a lot of good stuff going on. Susie did a great podcast on Friday with one of our stewards who serves the medicine at the upcoming All Ladies Retreat. We're going to have an All Guys Retreat in September. God, we're in August. September. I think we're going to have a couples retreat or a co-ed retreat as well coming up. So if you're interested in any of that, you can shoot me an email and I can give you some details. And make sure you like and subscribe, obviously, to the Max Afterburner podcast. Throw a review on here as well, too. Need all your help. It's been stuck at 99, man. I think if you go over 100 reviews, your podcast can be recommended to other folks. So please do me a favor. Who's going to write a review for the Max Afterburner podcast and push me over 100? I'll send you some free merch. How about that? If you write today only, because this shit ain't cheap, man. Today only, if you write a Max Afterburner podcast review, I will send you some merch of your choice. It's a good deal. Okay, where to even start? Well, I'm going to start as a normal brief, but my God, from Jerome Powell at the Fed to Amazon earnings to Facebook and Microsoft earnings. How about the wizism? When in doubt, run to mom. Microsoft and Amazon. If you just bought Microsoft and Amazon and sat on your hands the rest of your life, you'd be rich. Real quick, Amazon's a gift here. Buy it. I buy it. We're going to talk about it. It's no more perfect example of buy the rumor, sell the news than the Amazon earnings. And then obviously the jobs report on Friday, and finally calling out the BLS for their bullshit and their partisanship, and Trump firing the lady. So we have so much to unpack, but I'm going to start with a normal brief because we have to always do strategic. China is choking supply of critical minerals to Western defense companies. Sit up straight. It's my job to brief you as your flight instructor on all potential threats. I know we're in solo Amazon, but this is part of the strategic brief. This is a threat to Raytheon. I've warned this for years. 10, 15 years ago, I told TGO members, I'm like, 30, 40% of the rare earth minerals on this planet that go into this thing, that thing, everything is from China. And they can, with the flick of a switch or the signature of a pen, cut off all of it. Okay? Now you know why sometimes President Trump is doing deals with some swarthy countries around the world. Rare earth minerals, man, you ain't making patriots without some of the stuff in these things. Beijing's tightened controls are a sign of its leverage it has over the U.S. military supply chain. Let me remind you, ladies and gentlemen, we are at war with China. Cold War, but it is a war nonetheless. They are buying land around military bases. What type of stupid country allows that to happen and still talks about it and doesn't do anything about it? Did you not see the attack in Ukraine where 18 wheelers opened up the top, drones flew out, and they destroyed a quarter of their bomber fleet? Oh, they're just buying land around Barksdale Air Force Base, Dyess Air Force Base, and Minot, North Dakota, one of the Dakotas. Anybody paying attention? If I were China, that's exactly what I'd do. It's a free country. Let's use some shell dummy companies to buy land around military bases. And when I give the go order, like Emperor Palpatine, execute order, whatever it was, we're going to take out just about every bomber in the United States military, all their tankers and everything. But anyway, I'm paying attention to this. Hopefully my brother Raisin is as well. Order 66. Thank you, my brother. Stakes rise in the Russia-Ukraine war as Trump's deadline for the Kremlin approaches. I missed that in my rambling intro. Did you not see what the president did Thursday, Wednesday, Friday? All three of those days ran together. The former president of Russia, he was a placeholder, right? Technically, Putin couldn't do another term. He had to have a break, so he put Medvedev in as a placeholder, and then Putin came back after a break. He threatened the United States with nuclear annihilation or whatever, and Trump's like, this guy's an idiot. He's a jackass. I'm putting 2 nuclear subs off of Russia. They're cruising right now. They're going nuclear subs. Did you see that? Or it just got lost in all the other insanity going on Wednesday through Friday? Trump deploying nuclear submarines off of Russia. I'm fairly certain we already have nuclear submarines off of Russia, but the public flex, right? And I love Democrats who, would complain it's not hot enough in hell if Trump was Satan. Like, he's just disclosing top secret intel and submarine movements. Actually, you want to be very public about those type of things. Like, you want to mess with me? Here's what we're going to do. So, that's the strategic stuff going on. It's a scorching hot summer for what? Deals on Wall Street. Vacation can wait. What did I tell you? The old Wall Streetism, sell in May and go away, that's dead, right? It's May. I'm leaving my firm here in Chicago for the Hamptons and Aspen and the islands. Don't touch anything. I'll be back for the kids to go to school in August or September. Those days are over with. So I told you when Trump got reelected that not only deregulation would be extremely bullish, I also said what? M&A, mergers and acquisitions activity. Did you sleep through financial earnings? It feels like a year ago, 2 weeks ago. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, printing money, old school. I'm old enough to remember when Goldman Sachs was private. It wasn't a public company. There was just partners and managing partners. My buddy ran GSAM, Goldman Sachs Asset Management in Chicago. So, folks, this is very bullish. Okay, I know people are looking for cracks. We're going to talk about the jobs report and all sorts of cracks in the economy. M&A activity is usually not a canary in the coal mine. Okay, it's usually a sign of a rocket. Okay, so very bullish. All right, here we go, man. The wild week in the American economy. Growth and hiring have clearly taken a hit. The path forward remains murky. Well, if the path forward remains murky, shouldn't the Fed, if he wants a soft landing, start cutting rates? So, I mean, this article does a great job of like breaking everything down, but let's just ripple through everything real quick. The 2 months that will test whether the Fed called the economy right. Did you watch his speech? One of the most, I used to think the dude was okay. Now he's just a complete hyper partisan. He's in the weird area of, I'm not going to cut just because it'll look like I'm cutting from pressure. That's where he is. For the first time since I got my wings as a naval aviator, for the first time since 1993, 2 governors dissented. Now they're interviewing clearly, but their dissents were well reasoned and thought out. That was one of the most hyper-partisan press conferences ever. I got to give Steve Leisman a little credit because he did what he asked a question that I told you he would have asked. But he absolutely horrific press conference for the Fed. It was awful. So, and it wasn't porridge. He was hawkish. There was no like dove. It was bad. So Waller dissented and the other one dissented, and this was bad. This was a bad. So this article is essentially the Wall Street Journal saying he's not going to do anything. He's going to be dragged kicking and screaming to a rate cut. One more time, you have got to, again, Steve Leisman didn't ask this. I would have. Why did you cut in September? Inflation was going up 4 or 5 months in a row. And the Fed usually doesn't do anything right in front of election to not appear partisan. You didn't cut 25, you cut 50. In hindsight, Mr. Chairman, was that stupid? Nobody asked that question. So now the guy's just going to sit on his hands. Let's go to my research desk. I did this over the weekend, but the market is open. There we go. Fed rate cut odds. Let's go walk over to the research desk with my cup of coffee. Update rate cut odds between today and end of year. Put in a chart. So again, you don't have to go to the CME website anymore to find the Fed's funds futures rates. You go over to your trade desk. It's Chat GPT. Here we go. September at the next meeting. 82 to 85. Wow. Unbelievable. It was going into the jobs report. So folks, after the press conference, I sat here, I walked over to my trade desk and asked, and it was down at what? After his hawkish press conference, he said nothing. The odds of a rate cut were down at like 30%. Then what happened? Friday morning, leaving yoga, I'm like, oh my God. And then I refreshed and look at the revision. I'm like, oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, we've gone for, look at October. 60%. This is cumulative. By year end, essentially an 88% probability of 2 cuts. So we're back. Oh, here you go. It's right here. Wiz, you didn't have to guess. Your research desk knows you were going to go this way. Before the jobs report on Friday, it was about 41% after the meeting. After the miss, it spiked to 83%. Woo! Wall Street Journal, Reuters, 50, yeah, okay, whatever. Here's my dot plot. I get my own little dot plot. Isn't it incredible? For all you technical analysis traders, do you get on here in Fibonacci? I don't know how to do that. Should I just say, hey, ChatGPT, throw up a Fibonacci of Amazon? Boop. Would you like to see implied swap curve shifts, Fed dot plot scenarios, or a comparison against historical cut cycles? No, I got to keep doing my brief. I'll be back to you later. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not using this, you're a fool. It's going to kill us one day, but up until that point. So, wow. Here we go. Fed officials took cool jobs reports in stride. Oh, isn't that great? If Kamala Harris were president right now, first of all, there wouldn't be these insanely downward revisions. We'll talk about that in a second. But the Fed, Jerome Powell would be bending over his back, talking to Maxine Waters about equity, and Pocahontas would be frothing at the mouth on the CBS, Sunday show yesterday about how Jerome Powell is too late and should cut rates, right? So they took it in stride, Wiz. Oh my God. These downward revisions we haven't seen. So let's go dig into it, folks. Let's go look. Wait, this guy's great. Powell press conference. Sorry, who cut 50 basis points before the presidential election? The beige book worse and inflation data is closer to target than in September. And a room full of journalists just sit there. I'm sorry, I can't listen to this guy anymore. Fire him, please. I love this. It's so true. All those reporters just sit there and kiss ass and they don't do the hard work. Where's the chart? Here it is. 2-month negative revision of 258,000. Look at this, folks. The largest since 2020. You know what's funny is last week or a couple weeks ago, I forgot to share this article with you. I found it. July 30th, folks. That feels like a world ago. This is pre-Fed meeting, pre-jobs report, pre-everything. Conspiracy theorists found a new boogeyman, payroll data. Wow. Efforts to improve the accuracy of employment statistics have stoked claims they are being manipulated. This was the other side of the fence was claiming the manipulation, ladies and gentlemen. This is funny. One more time, I'm going to tell you that Bloomberg was reporting that all the other side was saying all these good jobs numbers are bullshit. Oh, let me give you this one because this is funny. Because now everybody, of course, are hyper partisans. They swapped. Everybody flipped. Okay. But this, all right. So here we go. No one can be that wrong. Trump fires the statistics boss after rigs job data. Here we go. So do you remember 3 days after Trump was elected? Do you remember what happened on November 15th? The jobs numbers were revised downward by almost 1 million. I remember sitting in a brief going, I don't think I've ever seen something that horrific. Isn't it weird how in front of Obama, Biden, Harris, the jobs numbers are fantastic. And then the 2 times Trump won, the revisions have been an absolute shit show. So, a Biden appointee, I'm not even whatever. So, this is the biggest negative revision. This is back in the fall. I remember the zero hedge. The biggest negative revision of payroll since I was in the Board of Trade, ladies and gentlemen. The post-election downward revision was the most since the global financial crisis. Isn't that weird? And isn't it weird that Trump was like, holy shit, well, I'm not even sworn in yet, folks. This is Biden's shit show. And then he gets sworn in and the media's like, no, you own everything immediately. I agree with that. You're the commanding officer. The commanding officer of a carrier runs the ground. You don't go, oh, well, the navigator was from the old commanding officer. You're fired. I can't stand it was the other guy's fault. But if you haven't been the commanding officer yet, you're not sworn in and they're doing this type of shit, you can say that. Holy crap. So, and I'm not going to, dig too into the Friday stuff. Here's the problem. If you run a government agency, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, that still uses the telephone, like not cell phone, folks, a landline. Oh my God, Elizabeth Warren is on CNBC. I thought I felt skeevy. If you use a fax machine, do you know this? They use telephones and fax machines for the majority of this data. The BLS is living in 1970. I want that to sink in. We have a government agency reporting apparently critical data because when it came out shitty, the world ended on Friday. So it's funny because Friday was I got blown out of an iron condor in SPX. Friday, and so we're going to talk about a couple things. Remind me, Jean asked a good question about her short calls on Amazon, why they were underwater. We have a lot to cover on that end. But remember, folks, Whenever I cover a trade and I say, hey, look at the at the money straddle. When is that valid for? It's not valid anymore, Wiz. It's now the at the money straddle, and that's not valid either. It changes instantaneously every time there's more pricing. So the at the money straddle is only valid for when? That moment. If you do an at the money straddle on Monday that's looking at Friday, it's going to be completely different. It gives you a starting point, folks, but that's not, shit happens, right? So I forget the rant I was on, but let's get going because I want to talk about this thing. So Microsoft and Facebook, disgustingly blowout numbers. Fantastic. AI, the Azure, whatever the hell it's called, strong performance. AI, solid. Okay. The investments, I mean, it's just absolute insanity. Great stuff going on. So what did Amazon do the next day? Went up. Holy crap. These guys did fantastic. It's obvious that Amazon's going to have blowout numbers. Guess what? They did. Ladies and gentlemen, Amazon shares fall because the unit's growth wasn't good enough. It beat expectations. Yeah, but so if Amazon had not reported after Facebook and Microsoft, it would have been up 10%. The day after, and also what happened with Amazon, folks, a little softer guidance. Wow. So I posted this. Hopefully everybody already dug in all this. We're not going to drop anchor, but I want you to look at this screen. It's all right here. You ready? Let's start right at the top. Beat, 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 beat. I want that to sink in. There was absolutely fantastic earnings. How many times have I told you, and I will tell you again, earnings are what? 80-20. 20% is here's how we did. 80% is here's how we're going to do. Did you see the stock in after hours? It initially went up about 2-3%. Went up. I'm like, wow, what a beat, man. And then what happened? Right? So, well, let's just look at it like a 3-month chart here. One more time. It's called buy the rumor, sell the news. No, so I'm going to go, let's go look at Gene's question. See if I can find it because it's a great point. I love this type of stuff. Where is it? I love that this was good intel, Bruce. Panic sell-off could be short-lived. They just got, I'm seeing more upgrades out of Amazon, but let's go. Where is it? Where did she ask? There it is. So great question. Amazon short call. I think this was like on Wednesday. I forget what day it was. Amazon short call. She had the 245 on. Why is it 60% down when the stock price is at 235? Right? Oh, this was Thursday. Hey, this call expires tomorrow, man. It's $10 out of the money and it's down 60%. Yes. Implied volatility is high because earnings are after the close today. I have these calls and I'm seeing the same thing. Completely normal. After Meta and Microsoft blow out earnings, there is a possibility the stock blows through 245. Does everybody understand this? This is an important learning moment. When you sold the 245 call, when I sold the 245 call last week, it was I think it was close to the at the money straddle when I sold it. What, not what, who is on the other side of that transaction? A buyer. I sold a call, the 245 call, to somebody who's like, you're an idiot, Wiz. Amazon's going to rip up to 260 by Friday. You're a fool. That's what makes a market. What happened? That person was the fool. So does this everybody make sense? It's exactly right, Mike. There are lottery ticket people. I got to be honest with you. After Facebook and Microsoft reported, I sat here and I'm like, I don't drink anymore, but if I had a little drinking money, I might buy some. I think it was like 250, 260 calls. I didn't. I'm like, nah. Why didn't I? Because old Wiz punched me in the face and said, dude, earnings are gambling. You got some short calls on. You got bullet, you got a burner trade, you got synthetic stock, you got a bull put spread on. You're fine. And what happened? The stock imploded 8-9%. Right? So, does everybody understand that? Implied volatility is through the roof the day before or the day of earnings. Exactly, Mike. So, no, did not get it. Werner, I don't know how to explain it anymore. Implied volatility through the roof. There's people on the other side of that short call saying that Amazon's going to rip through 245, you idiot, and it didn't. It imploded. So the person who I sold those calls to lost all their money, and I made 100% profit. Okay. That's the first Obama teachable moment here. Any questions on that? I'm glad she asked that question. So, folks, remember, implied volatility goes through the roof going into earnings, and then what happens? A volatility crush. Volatility implodes. Volatility goes up on uncertainty, and it smashes when things are known. Earnings are out, smash. Okay, so this was insane. And I don't care about Apple, but this was insane, folks. Great earnings, but a little softer guidance. This, ladies and gentlemen, is it's a huge buying opportunity. Buy Amazon on any dips, period. If you don't have a burner trade on and you wish you had one on, you do it now. You do it immediately. Okay? Now, with Amazon down here, folks, we are in no man's land. We are in between moving averages right now. We're in between the 50 and the 200. I didn't think I'd be saying that anytime soon. So we are either going to implode to the 200 day, or the selling's going to end and we're going to snap back to 217. That's the only two things that are going to happen this week. I still have on me a 210 bull put spread out to Friday, right here. Okay. I have the 210, 205 bull put spread, and I'm going to leg into an iron condor right now out to Friday. Okay. Let's go look. Again, when's this going to be valid for? When I say at the money straddle. We are at 213.30. There isn't a 213.30. This isn't going to be a perfect at the money straddle. It's going to be off. But let's just start poking around here. I mean, looking at the chart, I already told you what's going to happen. It's either going to go up, it's either going to go down to 210, or we're going up to whatever the 50-day was. Let's go look. 217 and a half, right? What did I tell you? 217 and a half, maybe. Stop. And then 207 to the downside. Okay. So I like, well, the 207 and a half, 205, And then maybe the bear call spread I'm going to show you. Well, first thing I'm going to do is take care of me. Let's look at the 217, 220 bear call spread. Yep. All right. So this is what I'll just show one contract for now. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell a Friday 217.5 call. This is the call I would also sell against my synthetic stock position. Okay. Let me back up a little bit. Step 0 right now for solo Amazon member is to do nothing. Wiz, you've told me that earnings are a smack in the face. Yep. Your ears ringing, your face is red, you're hanging. Let the dust settle. As Bruce posted, there are already people going, what are you, stupid? This is insane. Buying opportunity, buy it. Other people are saying, did you not read the week guidance? This thing's going back to 200. Do nothing. The next thing would be I have synthetic stock. I have 3 bullish positions. I have synthetic stock out a couple years. I have a burner trade out to January. I have the bull put spread out to Friday. Do nothing. Next step, sell some short calls against that long-term bullish position or the burner trade. Which ones would you use? Well, I just told you, we're either going back to this 50 this week or we're imploding. I think this is way overdone. Way, way overdone. There's still some sell orders. I'm waiting until we're out of amateur hour. There's still a shitload of sell orders from over the, holy crap. Look at the volume on Amazon right now. 22 million in what, an hour and 2 minutes? That's obscene. So it's trying to find its way right now. Okay. And look where we hover between. These are strikes. Those are option strikes for me. We're probably going to go down to this 212.5. Okay. So obviously there's still some selling pressure going on. It's Monday at 10:32. Friday is literally a world away. We could be back up. We could fill this gap up to 225. So that's why I'm saying maybe sit on your hands if you just don't know. Let this stuff wash out. Let the Amazon selling wash out. Again, I think Kramer screwed us twice. I think he did it on Friday, and I think he did it again this morning. He did one of his stupid rants, like, Amazon's insanely cheap down here. Buy it. I'm like, ah, crap. Somebody posted that before I did. I was about to, somebody's like, Kramer just said, and see, look, it's, let it wash out. There you go. 212.5 is the next one. So we're going to be down another %. So when something's on a tear, either join her to get it out of the way. If you want, sell your short call now. Maybe you just sell your single short call. 210.5 is right at the what was that, 20-day? Yes. Okay. 50-day, sorry. Green 20, blue 50. Based on momentum, I think we're heading lower. I think remember, one more time, I'm saying this for me, let alone you. This is no man's land. There's violence in between moving averages. These are magnets. Right now, it feels like we're getting pulled down. I mean, the S&P's up over 1% right now. Amazon usually mirrors the S&P, except for now. So maybe just hang. Okay? If you think we are going to go down here, but not folks, remember, selling gets exhausted. Otherwise, we just keep going straight down. I think the last time I saw something like that was the COVID scandemic. Made 750 grand with some puts on the SPX one morning because it wouldn't stop. And I'm like, holy shit, I've never made this much money in my life. I'm getting out. It stopped eventually, but it didn't look like it was going to stop. So selling stops, right? So, yeah, guys, leg in, add some more. If you have cash, if you don't, you're an idiot. These type of down days, let's go look at SPX. If you don't have some powder dry to buy these dips, you're a fool. Don't ever be fully invested in equities, ever. The only time I am near over 50 is on pullbacks back a couple months ago. Buy it. I got a little powder dry. Add. Never be 100. Now, the SPX has actually done what I thought Amazon would do. Well, Amazon is doing what I thought it would do, just not to the upper band. It's going to the lower band of a moving average. But SPX, way oversold. Now we're back to a magnet here, the 20-day on SPX, 63.10 right now. Okay, I have a bear call spread on. I'm watching. But Amazon, folks, momentum is a thing. It doesn't matter right now if you're like, you know what, Wiz, those earnings, you're right, they actually weren't that bad. They were fantastic. Let it wash. Okay? But be aware that there's violence between moving averages. This is either going to be a violent down or a violent up. So right now, stepping either in front of it to the up or downside is a little bit of gambling. Okay? So that's exactly right, man. Just keep scaling in. Scott, if it touches the 200 and we have support, it's going to rip. Look at the last time we had one of these earnings stupid moves. Where was that? Back here, right? Or was that tariffs? I forget. No, it was a little longer than that. Where is it? Where was that? Oh, here it is. Look at this, folks. Right here. You know what? Holy crap. It was this quarter last year. Look at this. You see this gap right here, ladies and gentlemen? That was copy paste from a year ago, like today. I remember this one. Same type of thing. Blowout earnings, wishy guidance. What happened? That was the one, I remember this, like 152. I'm like, sell the wife and kids, mortgage the house, buy Amazon. It went from like 150 to 240. Tariff war, trade war. Okay, we're back. This, ladies and gentlemen, is that right there. Buy it. Burner trade to January, synthetic stock out into the future. Do it on a pullback. If you think it's going to go to this, the 210 by Friday or in the next couple of days, selling's got to wash out, Wiz. It's got to exhaust. Then I'll get in. Then do it. Have it on your watch list for the week. Buy Amazon if it hits, the 200-day moving average. Okay. All right, but that's why I'm going to wait for my iron condor. Just thinking about it at the open. All right, it bounced right off 215, which is a strike. It bounced off of it for a reason there, folks. So we'll see if this is a dead cat bounce right here. So for me, I'm going to have an iron condor under the trigger. The 217 and a half. 220. To go, I'll just show you my bull. I already showed you my bull put spread. Where is it? Down here. It's the 205, 210. Okay. Let's just build that and see what that looks like as an iron condor. But you know what? I did $5 wide. Let's just do just build an iron condor real quick. 207.5. I'd go down and then I'd go, let's do, what did I say? 217.5, 220. So this is a $10 wide iron condor for Amazon. The 207.5 is your short put. The 217.5 is your short call. Okay. There's your football field. Let's open this up a little bit. Let's go 205, 220, 222.5. Let's go conservative, man. That's a little unbalanced. Yeah, hold on. I'm good. I just talked myself out of it. I'm not doing anything. I'm not even doing short calls yet. This is technically the second trading day after the earnings. I think we're going to wash out, but I could be wrong. This is the second day of massive selling. Is it exhausted? Do we get a snapback tomorrow through the rest of the week? There's really no, as opposed to last week, one of the busiest, craziest weeks in the market that I've seen in forever. There's nothing this week. There's a bunch of Fed lieutenants speaking Wednesday and one Thursday, but this is technically a quiet week, folks. So official, I'm doing nothing. No short calls, no legging into an iron condor, no nothing. I'm going to sit here and wait. You can do whatever you want. I've kind of given you some choices. Sell a short call, iron condor, anything. But this is when my spidey sense is tingling. Remember, no trade's a trade, man. Cash is a position. Just hang. There is some elevated premium if you wanted to do this short call right now. What was it? The 217.5 and hang. I'm sorry, just a short call. That would be, I mean, technically it's not that aggressive using the at the money, using the volatility in the options, as I just said, the word volatility in the options. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Just not a good time to do something. Okay. I'm glad Gene asked that question. I'm glad to add. Hopefully everybody understands that. The day of earnings, I had short calls that were showing that for a loss. Yeah, because people that bought those calls think you're the idiot. They ended up being the idiot, but that was a good lesson learned. JP Morgan's recovering, folks. Let's go look at some other stuff since I'm going to sit on my hand with Amazon. I mean, JP Morgan, guys, forget about it. Buy the rumor, sell the news, and then bounce. So tomorrow, or maybe I'll do one and post it in the Hunters and the Max Afterburner. I like a bull put spread here. This is all overdone. That knee-jerk reaction on Friday's past. It is in the past. SIBO. My God, it's the gift that keeps on giving. This is, what a gift. Everybody happy with their SIBO position? The answer is yes. If you're not in SIBO, what are you doing? And I would get into SIBO now. Options trading is exploding. It's absolutely insane. So anyway, what's the tie doing? We can look at a little of the tie since the show on time. Giving a little back. What a monster run. Look at that run, folks. 216%. You're welcome. Love me some Christian Angermeyer. This tweet last week. Christian Angermeyer. I've been saying he's the CEO of Atai. Met him at Psychedelic Science. I've been saying for a while now that two things are inevitable. A wave of biotech M&A is coming as big pharma scrambles to fill looming patent cliffs, and the psychedelic space will see the biggest frenzy because pharma CEOs will realize, quite bluntly, that only a few companies have real commercial potential. In psychedelics, I believe pharma will look beyond the surface and focus on three things. Short-acting compounds. There's no real commercial future for 6-hour longer treatments. Poke at Rick Doblin and Lycos and MDMA. Shots fired between psychedelic CEOs. I think he's right. We still will have room for 6-hour longer treatments. My fellowship does. Healing Realty Trust will. He's just poking a little. We have quick acting stuff. Okay, dude. I'm on both. I got my Atai. I got my investments across. I am at a psychedelic blackjack table with bets on every seat. Strong defensible IP, no patents, no deal. Ooh. Scalable, healthcare friendly delivery. IV is limiting, and inhalation is likely to be pharma's choice. Intranasal, oral, or transmucosal. That narrows the field a lot. I'm very proud. He's got to say this, but folks, this tweet last week is one of the most bullish things I've read from a CEO. So, Wiz, have you been following the new prediction options? Charles, I have no idea what those are. Options are predictive. An 80 delta option means what? Options in and of themselves are predictions. So I don't know what those are. I'd love to get educated. Folks, I told you last week you should be buying these right here. I know we're in Amazon, but I'm not doing anything. I'll give you some free stuff, Amazon members. These calls right here, buy them with both hands. Go out and far in time as you can with a tie, which is February of 2026, and buy the 7.5 calls. You will thank me later. All right, I have a bear call spread on SPX, $1.30, markets at $20, $1.20. What do I have? The 2025s. I think 6,300 for today is going to be kind of the Mason-Dixon line. Let me draw some new lines in here. 25. $50. Whoa. Okay, man. What are we doing here? Move that up to a 50. There's a 75. Thank you. 75, 6,300. There it is. 5-day chart. Thank you. So I have a bear call spread on. I think 6,300 is the magnet for today. Let me go look at that. 6,300. $63.07. Yeah, I think we're going to chop around this 20-day, at least today. The dust is still settling. I don't think we're going to see a V necessarily. I think we're going to, Trump's got, what is it, August 11th for a trade deal. He's blasted Canada again or China. I'm lost. I admit when there's only truth, folks. Here's the truth. I have no idea what's going on. Thought we had a trade deal with China. No, it's August 11th. New what? I've seen like 90 tweets from you saying trade deal with China. Same thing with Canada or something. Or I thought the biggest deal was Europe, and we got that. I'm lost, but there are apparently August in the next week or so deadlines. Then we have the Russia sanctions. So he brought those in after I'm sending a couple nuke subs to Russia. We got sanctions coming. I don't know if the market's going to care too much about that, but it is volatility. So you know what? Let's go look at this. Isn't it weird if you've been here for a while, folks? We used to trade the VIX. Look at that freak out. That's nothing. Sounded like Jim Cramer. Look at the VIX, man. What a joke. What a weird environment. You don't know anything about the VIX, folks. It's a heart rate monitor. Oh, we're going to die. No, we're not. Oh, trade war. Trump's going to kill everybody. No, he's not. There is money to be made trading volatility, folks. But I didn't even look at this on Friday when shit was imploding. That's embarrassing. 15 to 20, and it's already filled the gap. This is bullish. So, looking at the VIX, not freaking out right now. That was its freak out. And now it's not. There's Friday. And then here's the open today, and we're already selling it. A lot of hedging going on in the VIX out into the future type of stuff. You can go look at that. go look at, I don't know, let's look at August. Wow, $250,000 at the 20 strike. It's always fun to come over here when I'm bored doing stuff to go look at $500,000 at 25. Do you remember last week I posted a trade that was like 20 million bucks? Somebody, what was it? A bull call spread? 20 million bucks to Friday, wasn't it, or something like that? Whoever did that lost 20 million bucks. So don't forget that. Trust me, folks, I went, helping to run a multi-billion-dollar trading firm. I remember sitting in some rooms with some allegedly big smart money people. I'm like, you're an idiot. There are idiots out there running around. This might be just a big hedge. Somebody who bet 20 million bucks had something good with, I don't know, man. I posted that unusual options activity I think it was last week. Whew. So, okay. All right, guys. Come on, SPX, stay right there. Look at SPX right at 6,300. Look at that, folks. 6,308 is the moving average. So we're gonna have a battle right around this moving average. Watch that. Right there is the 20-day moving average. I gotta remember green, blue, red. Green, go, blue, and then red is bad. Okay, I'll remember that. All right, guys. Any other questions, concerns? Oh, by the way, hit me up in the Ready Room, the Max Afterburner, or the whatchamacallit. Like I said, if in the next 24 hours you write a shitty review, I'm going to find you and kill you. Write a nice review for the Max Afterburner. I'll send you some merch. Send me a screenshot of the review with your merch choice. The OG, Debbie, thank you for taking a picture and posting it on Twitter with your merch. We mailed you your morning brief. Let us know how that goes. And make sure you listen to the launch of Sacred Warrior Fellowship. If you are in the great state of Florida, we might even take this on the road, man. Who knows? But if you would like to join our fellowship and sit in ceremony and stuff like that, we would love to have you. Maybe we make that a TGO event. We haven't done a Top Gun Options live event in like 3 years. I'd love to do another in-person event. Maybe we do a ceremony that weekend if anybody is so inclined. So, Mike, the market is covered with a copper roof. I know. I saw all that stuff. I mean, we have a couple guys in my mastermind group that's all they do, but those were some big moves, man. I don't know what to do with it, to be honest with you. I don't trade shit. I don't know. So what's Amazon doing before we leave? Did it find a bottom, or are we washing out here? No, we didn't. We're down another percent in Amazon. We're hanging, baby. Look at the drill bits too. This is the market. Look at that. Down. No, I'm going to battle you. I think my bias right now is to the downside. I think we're going to go down to that bottom moving average to find some support. I could be completely wrong. Bunch of buyers step in right now and we rally. We're back up to 220 by Friday. Distinct possibility. Or we're down at 210. There ain't going to be any in between, I guarantee you. It's either rip up or rip down. Might do both. So, oh, that's not good. All right, guys. So, Battle of Britain with Amazon right now. Blow it one more time, folks. If this was your first earnings experience in solo Amazon, this happens. I've seen Amazon report shitty earnings and have a rip your face off rally. Why? Because the guidance was awesome. One more reminder that trading earnings is gambling. There is no other way to put it. It literally is betting on black or red. They could have blowout earnings like they did and guide weaker and the stock implodes. And don't forget, not only is earnings gambling, buy the rumor, sell the news. It's a thing. And I think we're going to break on Amazon and go lower. If you wanted to do a bear, if you think the momentum is to the downside with Amazon, go do a bear call spread out to Friday. and not hold it, but trade it. Kind of like SPX right now, man. You could do a 217.5, 220 bear call spread. If we're going to go down and hit 210, the 200-day moving average, make a quick couple $100 and then close it. You could SPX, you could sniper shot Amazon this week. But again, don't overtrade. Don't, just kind of take a deep breath and watch. No trade is a trade. Cash is a position. Okay. All right, guys. I'll see many of you tomorrow for the primary live trade brief. Don't forget about the Max Afterburner review and listening to the podcast. If you want to join us in fellowship, shoot me an email. Okay. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Fights on. Namaste. And basi basi. Whiz out.